Welcome or welcome back. I'm Jacob.
I'm BB.
And together we are the... I swear, every time you do that, it always sounds derpier than the last time.
You know, I have a reputation to maintain, I'll have you know.
I suppose you do, yeah. All right.
You know, when you posted the thumbnail and title of this in the Butter Bunch chat, and you said, "Hey, before anyone says anything, this title's simp. It'll make sense during the video." And I read it. It said Texans record. So I was like, okay, that makes sense, right? Because I live in Texas. Sure, you are technically Texan.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I suppose that makes sense. Now, I didn't really inspect the thumbnail itself, so I thought all of us were going to be on there. So I'm like, well, I can think of how we fit in. What's the excuse for Aiden? And I can't help but notice that he's not here and he wasn't in the thumbnail either, and now I feel really dumb.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, the excuse is that we don't always feature all of us in the thumbnails for the Butter Bunch review stuff. So, yeah, didn't quite fit the theme, but I did clarify in the description that he was intended to be here. Whether or not it will show up is always entirely for his own whim. Just simply to not address it. In case people are wondering, because I might have changed the title by the time that you are in the chat will watch this video. Not in the chat right now. I mean, you're not in the comments, basically. You know who weren't in the chat. But yeah, the original title was Texans React to Studio C Season 1, Episode 1. Specifically because there is a very specific sketch in here that theme makes complete sense for. And so all shall be made clear eventually. I thought that would be like a nice title for, you know how sometimes YouTube videos will have a different title for the first 24 to 48 hours, and then they will settle into whichever title fits like the overall like theme of the series they're doing. That's what I'm trying here, basically, because this obviously is brand new for us at the moment. Well, I say that Studio C themselves are not brand new to me. I have been watching their content for many, many years now.
They're brand new to me.
Exactly, yes. And also to Aiden, theoretically. I think I might have shown like one Studio C clip because I made a reference to them in the Mutant Girl one time, and Aiden complained to me that no one was going to get it. That's not explained here because we're going in order. And what order are we going in? Well, it's somewhat more complicated than it looks based on the simplicity that I've brought it down to. Studio C originally uploaded their content on BYUTV.org, is my understanding, which is a free streaming service that is owned and run by Brigham Young University, to my understanding. Has many, many shows on there, some of which actually kind of intrigue me a lot, because I never would have heard of them. They also have some stuff on there that's recognizable that I thought, how on earth do you offer that for free? Do you have ads on it or something? Which might be the case. I don't actually know. But in the case of Studio C, it's all for free, all available, and all ordered into seasons and episodes for their sketches. On YouTube, it's a different story. Because, of course, most of the promotion for Studio C happened on YouTube. That's where they got their footing. And they did so with their individual sketches uploaded separately. So what I've done today is I have compiled all of the sketches that were in Season 1, Episode 1, and that's the order that I'm going in, because you technically can start basically anywhere, but, you know, I thought for the sake of the timeline, because I know that's something we tend to really focus on, we'll start here.
Yeah. So since that's something we really like to focus on, and gestures towards my icon.
Yeah. But also
someone here really likes timelines. Okay, not gonna name names, but
also with our Starkid stuff, the reason that I started at Hatchetfield because I knew that was what would appeal to you the most, because that's the part that really has a timeline compared to most other productions that they have. So
sure, yeah.
It somewhat fits our theme as a group as well. Whether or not this will fit, only time will tell. Because we shall see if you know, we shall see if another if another group formed out of a college that earned their footing on the internet, strikes a chord with us for us a second time, or whether or not Starkid truly was, the lightning in a bottle for us, which I'm really hoping not. Let's see.
I thought this was leading into a surprise ad for like a future College Humor dropout binge.
I mean, that is also something that we could do, because actually, I've seen a few College Humor sketch. Well, I see more than a few. I've seen a fair collection. Haven't seen that much of of their content. So another possibility for the future. But yeah, for now, Studio C.
I like how there's just Captain Hook over there.
At some point, you will be able to name all of these actors you see today.
Someone else here dressed as a Ninja Turtle?
It must have been a little angel calling, stardust falling. Oh,
well, with the context of them being brothers, this is mildly disturbing, but
yeah, people really misinterpret couples' costumes based on the characters that they originally are. There are so many Woody and Jesse couple costumes that it's unnerving to think that people have like, oh yeah, let's buy this one, but also clearly we haven't seen the movies. So why would it mean anything for us?
save this moment in the sacred place, close to my heartbeat.
I thought we had to like reach in and just like fiddle around a little bit to pull.
I thought that Mikey was about to scratch his own ass for a second there.
Just a moment, yeah. Or just like in the song, just goes like, yeah, something.
Ah, damn! It would have been cool if they had like a little like hole in the ground, and it would like fasten in there, and they could do like pole dancing there.
Honestly, yeah. I feel like later on they probably would have done that. Perfect meet cute, no notes here. Dance moves are on point. Not literally dance terminology, but whatever. Oh, there you go. There we go. He did it. He did the thing. Jerry's mustache is like really iconic in the future, but it didn't quite land in the first iteration.
Mom wants you to call her.
Okay.
So, what was that about them being siblings? Yeah. And that was
Next
the
time on
sketch.
Dr. Phil.
Yeah, except they're just unpacking that one traumatic event, not even like a repeated behavioral pattern. So Dr. Phil might actually help him this time. I don't know. All right.
Sure,
well,
he has to get a doctor's license first.
Also, or at least renew his existing one, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the cold opening in the BYUTV version. That's where like their intro kicks in. So yeah, really sets the tone, I suppose.
Well, this is
Sorry.
me.
No. Trying to. There we go. Okay. Couldn't really. For some reason, I can't adjust like the volume on the actual screen anymore. I don't know why that's not a thing that I can do right now. So, yeah.
Okay. It's the end of the date, and here comes the doorstep. Don't panic. You practice this 100 times with your roommates. Oh man, it looks
And they
like
were
she's heading
roommates.
straight for the door without even saying goodnight. Don't let her go inside. Quick, throw something at her face. Oh, she's turning around. You're good.
We never see
Well,
the
this
impact
is
of that
me.
glass.
Okay, now puff out your chest ever so slightly. You're strong.
And show your feathers.
You puff out your feathers like this and do a little dance. This will not only scare off other attract her, but it will scare off other males as well, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In case anyone's wondering what we're referencing there, check out My Streets.
Remember, you cranked out 14 push-ups before this date, and you only blacked out for a second.
How does he know it was a
Well, I
second?
had a
He
really nice
blacked
time
out.
tonight, Matt.
Yeah, you did.
We should definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, Daddy's got game.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe next time we could double with one of your roommates or something.
I knew you were eyeing my roommates, you frothy tart.
Well, apparently
What
you've
does
practiced.
that even mean?
Apparently you've practiced kissing with your roommates, so clearly you both have a shared taste there.
That'd be awesome. Although
God, what a plot line for like a romance story. You have these two, but then the catch is that the love interests aren't into either of one another. They're both just interested in one other person.
That does remind me. There's like a film called The Duff that came out like many years ago. Well, like the entire point was that you know there's like the one less attractive, approachable friend that was kind of like the opening into like you know other people getting with like those friends basically. Yeah. Now what you're suggesting there is more interesting in the sense that they're using each other. I wonder what the resolution would be because in most rom-coms like or like
Right, because they're both interested in
general,
the same one person, but not each other.
Yeah, like in most situations, that would just result in those characters realizing that the love interest that they wanted was the person that was there all along. But
but no.
What if
Not
everyone just
this
alone at
time.
the end? What if the resolution of that film just be like everyone is alone at the end, but they realize they're better off single because they will have issues? Or the ending scene is Dr. Phil.
What a good punchline. That is such a good ending. You have like a multi-season romantic epic about like who's gonna get this one person, are they gonna realize yada yada, and then the big finale, they get invited to Dr. Phil.
I was thinking like a standalone movie, but now that you say that, a full season's worth of time dedicated to that would make it even better. I love that.
And the other one is dying.
Oh, wow, that's awful.
Why are you lying? Quick, change the subject.
Why are you lying about your friend that is not dying?
Oh, that darn economy, huh?
Hey, you telling me?
Oh my.
Yeah,
Wait for a couple years.
This is me incidentally trying with small talk. This is why I just don't bother with it half the
My
time.
goodness, she's playing with her keys just like in the movie Hitch. Will Smith said
Like if I want to have a conversation with somebody, I just get like hyper specific usually.
that means she wants to kiss you. Wait, is that different for white people?
I haven't seen the movie Hit, so I have no idea what the context for that is.
Oh, what luck. Her hair's blocking her face. Gently brush it out of the way.
You know, she kind of
Yours.
looks like Zendaya's MJ.
Yeah, I can see that actually, especially with the hair.
Smooth as silk, Maverick. Man, I wish people would call me Maverick. Okay, now lean in slowly. Oh, no.
That's not even slowly. That's leaning slowly.
Oh, I didn't check my breath. Back away slowly. She didn't even notice. Way to go, Mav. Oh, whoa, whoa. Why are people coming up to the door? This is so awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah, this feels natural.
Wakanda for
Hey, Natalie.
Hey.
Matt, this is my roommate, Natalie.
Hi.
And this is...
Oh, this is Steven. We just got back from the movie theater.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome that we showed up at the exact same time.
Except you didn't, because one of you was here earlier.
Oh, I am not moving. If this guy thinks he's edging me out of my good night, he is wrong. Look him in the eyes.
edging, huh?
Yeah, not sure if that word has had the same meaning that it does now, that it did in 2012. No idea.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
Well, I had a fun time, Natalie.
Yeah, sure.
Loser.
So nice to
That
meet
was
you,
cool,
Natalie.
though.
Nice to meet you too. Oh, I think I feel a chill. I'll head inside.
So sorry about that.
Yeah, and we're back.
Oh.
Eye contact. Now give her a sincere compliment. Tell her
He didn't do anything about his breath, so I assume it's
you
fine.
like her.
I like your...
Say something. Oh, please, say something. Compliment her shoes. Oh,
Say something you like about her. Something must be likable. I assumed at least you just wanted a date with her, but all right.
never mind. Just say something.
I messed up the joke there. You know, compliment her shoes. Never mind.
Guy like Europe.
Just say approach.
In the spring.
You were so close.
Yeah, it's better than Europe in the winter.
You are an idiot.
Oh, you're kidding. I do too. I lived there for a year actually, and the spring is breathtaking.
Never mind. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ka-da-dum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum.
Again, I don't recall what this theme song is.
Wait, is she still talking?
Have you?
Yes.
Fucking idiot.
Wow. You're an interesting guy, Matt.
Interesting good or interesting like a mental illness? Oh man, everything's falling apart. Just kiss her. Now! Force the eye contact.
Ah.
Okay, now move in slowly, like you're creeping up on a gazelle. No,
Well, she's
still
definitely
does not-
backing up like you're creeping up.
Yeah, he has still not mastered the meaning of the word slowly.
sleeping baby. No, don't picture her as a sleeping baby right now. That is every kind of wrong. Oh, what is happening? I can't feel my legs. Yeah, I'm blacking out again.
Oh, don't worry, it'll last a second. Well, there we go. The Doorstep. I think that's actually one of their more like well-known sketches, weirdly enough. Consider that they have like 19 seasons worth of content. To have like one of their more known ones that early on.
Jesus.
I mean, you know, they weren't skimping for quality, that's for sure.
That's a handful of seasons.
Oh yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, they are still going to this day. I think they started in 2012. Okay. Yeah, I think they started in 2012, and yeah, they've had that, which means they must have had like more seasons than they have years that they have been in operation. Which I think means they're essentially going by like the number of episodes rather than you know, years they released, that kind of season length. Anyways, The Doorstep is not only one of them more well known, I think, but also a two-parter. Immediately starting with a two-parter, which structurally I found very interesting. But there you go. Proceed. I guess it makes sense when you look at it this way.
This part of the night always makes me so nervous and sweaty. What's that? Oh my gosh, I have something in my teeth. Holy nasty, what is that? Just stay calm, put it in your pocket, where it will probably grow babies.
I don't think she actually had anything. It just seemed like she was holding air.
Well, this is me.
What is he doing with his chest?
Well, I had a really nice night tonight, Matt. We should definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, that...
I just realized he's puffing out his chest and she was hunching. It was like they're having like the opposite body language, which is the complete contrast to like what you're like usually told is a good sign of compatibility. You know, people say like if you mirror your body language, that means yeah.
He's getting closer, and her body is telling her to leave now.
Yeah, this is not going well immediately,
Cool.
but well, we've seen how this
Next
ends.
time we could double with one of your roommates or something.
Specifically the hot one.
Well, there you go. They had a similar thoughts.
That would be awesome, although one of them is really busy and the other one is dying.
Oh, wow, that's awful.
Especially if it's the hot one. He's too hot to die. Unless he dies from heat stroke. Ba-dum-bum, shh.
Wow.
That's a joke I would make. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay, well, I guess you're on the similar wavelength. One thing I always wonder about these two parts is that I'm
It's
pretty
because
sure
we're
that
blonde.
that's fair enough.
And
This-
have curly hair and like the color red.
Yes. There you go. Perhaps you two are Zendaya reminiscent, and I've just never noticed.
I haven't ever
Well
noticed
done.
either. I think my head is the wrong shape.
Could it be that your head isn't screwed on just right? Or could it possibly be that your shoes are too tight?
An economy, huh?
Check out our Grinch reaction if you haven't seen that one already, people watching this
Yeah.
video. It's
No.
not what you think it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if you haven't seen it, then you don't know what it is.
At least probably not. Very unlikely that you do.
There's
Aw,
no
look at
way
you
in hell.
guys,
If you do,
girls.
it's not the first thing you think of.
So cute. Let's kiss. Come here, boy. Okay, he's obviously still confused. Do something flirtatious. Coyly put your hair in front of your face so he can brush it away.
Coily,
Nicely
yeah.
done.
Yeah, I think these were filmed simultaneously, but they were edited slightly differently because that cut was a little bit faster.
Okay, he's coming in now. Remember, he goes 90, you go 10, just like in the movie Hitch. Wait, is that different for white people?
I need to watch this movie.
Oh, he's backing off. Just turn this into a body roll. Yeah, 5th grade hip-hop lessons really paying off now. Oh, no.
I have
Not-
questions about the 5th grade hip hop questions comments.
Go on.
What 5th grade hip hop lessons? For starters, what do you mean? What is the context of that? How did you get that? Is that a thing from the school? Because it's weird that you specify 5th grade. In which case, which school is offering it?
I don't know. Whichever was the feeder school to Hollywood Arts. The crossover of the century.
Oh, you know what? No, it must be the same school that fuck me. They just made 2 jokes about in a row, and I already Fresh Prince of Bel-Air guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Will Smith. Yeah.
Yeah, Will Smith. Yeah, he must have gone to the same school as Will Smith.
Ah, is that where he learns the ways of hip hop?
It must have been.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's talking about hip hop dancing specifically. I've watched many like actual Will Smith music videos where he dances a lot, so I will have to check that one as well alongside the movie Hitched. Apparently, I've just done a void of Will Smith content.
Natalie and her munchkin doing here?
Isn't that a slap in the face?
Oh, look what it's done to Matt.
I think the
Looks like
most
a
Will
sad-
Smith content that I've actually absorbed pretty consistently was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I would watch that on TV pretty frequently, because reruns and all that. Great show.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. The first Will Smith thing I saw was actually a music video. It was Men in Black. My dad showed it to me. One of the first YouTube videos I ever saw. But yeah, first proper movie I think was either Wild Wild West or Enemy of the State. Arguably not the best starting point. Either way.
I will say, by the way, so they made like a, this isn't like a new thing either, but they made a reimagining of Fresh Prince. It's like set in modern day, and it's like a drama. And it's just
Oh yes,
called
isn't
Bel-Air.
it? Yes, it's just called Bel Air. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
hear about this. Yeah.
And it doesn't look awful, but genuinely, it doesn't look as good as like the comedy, which kind of surprised me because the comedy actually did have like a lot of really big serious moments that were super adaptable into like a drama. But I don't know, it just from clips I've seen, it doesn't look like it was executed as well.
Yeah, potentially not. I mean, so see, yeah, obviously the thing is like when you're changing like the entire genre of something you're adapting, it can either go really well or it can go really poorly depending on, what you choose to focus on or what people like grappled onto from the original. I feel like what people grappled onto from the original most of the time was the comedy, because obviously, you know, the
Yeah,
serious
but there
moments
were
were
really, really
you know,
impactful moments.
yes,
in
they
there,
were.
though.
I know, but they are outlining exceptions that offset the comedy, and that's why they stand out so much. If you make a thing that is constantly all of that, it dilutes everything, like butter
That's
scraped over
fair.
too much bread.
Mute,
That's
waiting to
fair,
be
yeah.
buried.
Hey, Natalie.
Hey.
Matt, this is my roommate, Natalie.
Hi.
And this is...
Oh, this is Steven. We just got back from the movie theater.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome that we got back at the exact same time.
Oh, yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is they're using all of their real names right now. So, you know, very classic Starkid in the sense of naming Joe Richter's character Joe Richter, for example.
Oh, this is so awkward. I was more comfortable that time I tripped on a homeless man and fell into his pile of dirty blankets. What was on those?
Well, I had a fun time, Natalie.
Sure.
Loser.
So nice to meet you, Natalie.
Wait.
Yes, they both said the same thing. Again, another instinct moment they have.
No, hold on, wait.
Loser.
What?
That's not.
What
Fucking.
was on those?
Well, I had a fun time, Natalie.
Sure.
Loser.
Did Natalie's voice interject the narration? Wait.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that's still that. I'm pretty sure that is still Mallory narrating in her head.
Is it?
That
Because
wouldn't
that
make
sounded
sense
a lot.
otherwise.
Because that sounded deeper.
I mean, maybe. Then again, I guess I'm more used to Mallory going deeper in other performances. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that is still
fair.
her because that wouldn't make sense otherwise. It's
I
like
know, but
I
it-
wasn't
but
there
it's
to record
like-
that day, so she missed the lines. They brought in Natalie instead.
Well, no, it's because she says that like as soon as she's like patting the guy's head and shit. So I was thinking, oh, okay, so you have like the normal narration, and then it goes silent for a little bit. You have that scene play out, and then you have a complete like the other person interject just to insult the guy.
Yeah, well, if it hadn't been for the fact that we heard Matt say loser in part 1, and now Mallory says it as well to be in sync, that would possibly be a, you know, be an oopsie, but I don't think it was. Okay, for people in the chat right now, BB has just muted.
So nice to meet you,
okay,
Natalie.
she pressed play.
Nice to meet you too.
Now get out, Natalie. Smile, but wish her harm with your eyes.
Oh, I think I feel a chill.
That is the Mallory essence coming through.
I'll head inside.
I'll head inside.
So sorry about that. Oh.
That's one thing we could do is we could like listen to both the deliveries and see if they are actually the same or not.
I like your...
Oh my gosh, he can't think of anything to like about me.
Yeah, this is what I was saying before. How did he fumble
A
this?
hideous monster. I have a snaggle tooth and I have female pattern baldness. I can usually cover it with little hats and bonnets, but I forgot them.
Yeah,
You just straight. What do you mean? You're
Yeah, I have
so
no idea.
hot. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, specifically, she's talking about the female pattern baldness right now, which also is not very apparent.
I like Europe in the spring.
Oh, you're kidding. I do too. I lived there for a year, actually, and the spring is breathtaking. Although, getting overseas is a total nightmare because airport security treats you like you're some sort of terrorist. I mean, I've never killed anyone, have you?
And here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, based on that reaction, I'm pretty sure that I just read something. Live studio audience. Of course, they did this twice.
Wow, you're an interesting guy, Matt.
Interesting like a mental illness.
There's his answer.
Ah, what? He wants to kiss me right after he admits to being a murderer? Natalie, come back. I'm sorry
I mean, I don't know. That worked for Edward around this time period.
about the dirty looks. I was just a kid then. Now I'm all grown up and I'm about to kiss a serial killer. Who knows where those lips have been? I can't stop it. It's just happening. Someone save me, please.
Well, there we go. Thing I'll say about that is that, yeah, like until it's like, oh yeah, the studio audience. I've thought, yeah, there's a possibility they're going to film those simultaneously. Like it is so, like the thing is with live acting, one thing that they discourage you from in most situations is to do like the exact same thing all the time, because then the acting gets stale. And also because people like to watch repeat performances, so there's always like going to be minor differences as well to, you know, them to compare in their own heads or to be surprised by. But yeah, in this case, I realized like, oh yeah, these were made to be filmed as well as performed live, so it actually kind of makes sense to have, you know, an umbrella of both. All right, there you go. Hopefully Matt blacked out for long enough then that Mallory could get away, because if it was just a second, then you know, she's doomed in her mind at least. All right. Oh, and now it's actually time for one that actually was also live, but definitely, you know, doesn't feature live acting in the same way, and also one that I didn't realize was actually was actually like released on YouTube, because when I watched like the full episode on BYUTV, I actually thought, oh, there's some sketches here that didn't make it to air, but actually no, I found all of them. So, you know, Cody one, yes, it's such fun to enter during. I forgot how funny Studio was. Oh, okay, I was gonna say like, used to know them, yeah, because I was like, if this was your first experience with them, like, oh my goodness. That'd be like a good like cold opening if this weren't a live stream. Coming up on today's reaction, I never killed anyone. Have you? Yes. That's it. That's the teaser we give you.
Well, the thing
Anyways.
is, what I think, because you're saying it so confidently, there's so many ways to take the way he said yes there. There's so many ways to interpret the way that he said that if you were her.
And Mallory chose serial killer, which makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Or at least the one-time murderer. Anyway, this is bashful email. The fact we only showed for a month is the craziest part.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me, I forgot his name. It's been a long time since I've seen him. I don't know if he even does comedy anymore. But I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the skits of like or like the shows where there's this guy, he gets like a rubber duck or whatever, and then he puts it down or whatever, and then he just keeps getting more and more rubber ducks, and he starts like playing out like plot lines and shit as his like roommate gets driven mad.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why this reminds me of him is because he also had a big thing going for a while here where he would troll like spammers. And so he would get like emails from or whatever, and he would just like keep them on for like weeks on end, just playing with them like this. And so he would type out things like this, like, you know, I think it's about time we take our relationship to the next level. I don't know if he's anywhere near as active as he used to be, but if you haven't seen him, go check him out. He's so funny.
Yeah. And also, he does these both. He did one of these, reinterpreted it live, but for like, it was like a TED Talk style thing, but also made them into like shorter YouTube videos as well. So he's got both. I just realized there's if we watch Dave Gorman on here, would we get like the video taken down for copyrights? I wonder. That's one way to like bring Shorty out of permanent hibernation, out of the cryosleep that we have them in right now. Anyways, back to the message to Steven, which incidentally, dry Steve with a V, Steven with a PH. Put the wrong there we go, correction. Oh, never mind. Okay.
This bit reminds me of Ghost Kitty says, I watched a couple of videos, but it's been a while. Mainly I remember when Studio C did a weather report video, but it was like overly ridiculous weather. I would send my family that video a lot. So
I've seen
that reminds me of a Onion sketch years and years ago. In fact, I don't even think they uploaded it to their own YouTube channel. They uploaded it to like their site or someone, and someone re-uploaded it. And even the re-upload is ancient. But it was titled something like honest government, like we're fucked or whatever. And it talks about mainly global warming and the issues with that. Well, there's one bit in it where you have a map of like the U.S. or whatever, or maybe even just the world. I think no, it was the world, and and the government lady goes like, blank is like Australia's fine, America's fine, yeah. And as she says fine, you can see like the place like go on fire. And then after a while of saying a place is fine, she oversteps by it for a second and goes, even Greenland's on fucking fire. I mean, fine.
Well, okay. I was still thinking weather reporters, and everybody's like, oh, wait, no, you said honest government. So, yeah, they're politicians, not weather reporters. That makes more sense.
No, but in the context of this bit of the sketch, it was reporting the weather as fine, but you can clearly see on the map as everything burning.
Yeah. By the way, also, if anyone wants to see some more ancient email-based video content, there's that Dan Bull used to do these like open letters to blank, basically. The first one, what I watched, the one that I constantly go back to, is the one that he did to Lily Allen, who in 2009 apparently criticized file sharing and pirated music essentially, and then but then like Dan Bull quoted out the hypocrisy of that, or like how she's benefited from a system that doesn't benefit everyone or something like that, using the song 22. But he also says let's go back to time before 22, implying 1922, before copyright was even a thing. So or like as much made a thing, I think. But I think copyright came around the 1920s. So yeah,
it was 1920s. Yeah, I think it was 28. I want to say. And as of right now in the U.S., anything before 1930 is in public domain. So yeah, around there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, in fact, I was looking into copyright law recently. Man, over the years, it just became progressively more complicated. Like
of course, yeah.
It goes none to publish with a copyright notice and publish with a copyright notice, but then did they renew? Did they not renew? And then it's like created before, but then published here, and it's like made after, but then published. It's like, oh my god.
Also, something about like 70 years after the author's death, or something like that. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but that's only under like a certain amount of criteria, and that criteria only counts depending on the year of publication and/or creation.
Yeah, there are also 4 different types of copyright that you can actually apply for as well.
Yeah, it's so convoluted.
I think my favorite one is actually C0. I think it was called, where it's just basically you acknowledge that the ownership of people can still use that. So it's not like you're gonna automatic takedowns, but you still you still have.
Yeah,
someone can't claim the deal as their own, which is the original whole point, rather than the monetary side, which came along later.
Yeah, I think that's the one that the SCP Foundation does, where they have a very specific type of copyright that says, "Hey, we own this; it's not yours, but also you can do whatever the fuck you want with it."
Yeah.
Where it's essentially saying public domain, but also remember who you're taking this from.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, no.
An acrostic poem? You have that prepared?
Kissing quiz. Well, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this on screen for a second so that any gacha tubers watching this can actually get it right for once.
Your versus you are.
Exactly.
What's the difference between your and your? Your presence on the page means you're about to find out. Your is a second-person progressive adjective and describes something as belonging to you. Your is nearly always followed by a noun. What is your name? Is this your pen? Your book is on the table. This is your chair and this is mine. What happened to your dog? You being here is causing some problems.
Well, no, it is your being here in that case. That is the example of not being a noun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your, but with apostrophe. Your is the contraction of you are and is often followed by the present participle the verb form ending in ing. You're going to be late. Is that what you're wearing? I think you're lying. If you're ready, we can go. I can't believe you're a doctor. When you're my son,
My age.
you'll
Yeah.
understand.
When you're my son, once the adoption papers have gone through, yeah, you'll understand.
I do want to make note of this because I would like kissing quiz. Are you a good kisser from Quizilla? Is this a real thing?
Created by Dancing Flames 123. Yeah.
Are you a good kisser? Quizilla.
Created by Dancing Flames in 2008.
Huh.
Taken 1,128 times. Oh.
Damn. If it does exist, the webpage has changed.
Oh, haha, let's skip the kissing and get to the good stuff. You know what I mean. Oh, dear. There you go.
God damn it.
Noun. Yeah, that's why you gotta prepare that.
No. Just like you.
The origin of the phrase "I am so normal" in referencing to internet culture.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, another thing I forgot to mention as well: drysteve@mail.com. Not even like a like a unique domain.
I will slash your tires and this and
I like. Oh, wait, never mind.
Ghost Kitty says, I checked because I got curious and the weather report video is 11 years old. It's called Weather Day. It's called 5-Day Weather Forecast Studio C.
Ah, so that's probably a season 2 video then.
Yeah, and the one that I was talking about is Honest Government Ad We're Fine and was re-uploaded in 2019.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'll add one to that. Whether or Not by Daz Black.
really awkward. No.
This doesn't have to be awkward.
This is awkward.
That's like the same energy as you don't have to do this.
I remember that I actually sent an email confession to a girl in secondary school, and then but I'm pretty sure I don't remember what I said in it, but I'm confident it was better composed than this.
Thank you, smiley face.
The closest I've
I also
done
timed it so it was right before I went on a Paris trip as well. The one that I went to when I was 13 and came back 14 because my birthday was on the last day.
I think the closest I've ever done to this was like my second year of high school when I emailed my vice principal when I was like, hey, I wouldn't because a lot of schools will have like a way to like.
It's weird you're so much older than me, but
no, because a lot of schools have like ways to like link you to therapy and shit, and so this was one of my many attempts over the years. And so I was like, hey, yada yada, but also, hey, if this has to go through, and he was like, yeah, we have to go through like a counselor or whatever. I'm like, sure, all right, just don't do this one counselor, which was so if you had a counselor based on like the first initial of your last name, and the one that I had heard pretty bad things about. So I've never bothered to see her. So I was like, hey, can I just have anyone other than the one that I actually have? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? Well, problem.
Yeah, because
all of
most
the
of the
teachers
time
and
in
shit
therapy,
could.
you would think. Yeah, most of the time in therapy, like
Well,
like,
this.
most therapists that in general like say like, okay, if you need like another person, a different person to yourself, then yeah, someone suited to you. That makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah.
But sorry, continue.
Yeah, but problem is I guess the staff at that high-ranking level can just see all of the emails, and so the lady who I explicitly said by name I do not want to see called me, or called like the math class and called me to go to her office.
This is proof that she was incompatible with you. Like that action alone.
I'll have you know, the second thing she asked was whether I wanted to kill myself. The first thing she asked was whether I liked her or not.
I mean,
Which I
what does she
still
expect
think
the answer
is
to be? If she read the email, what is she expecting the answer to be?
no, and it's like I didn't know. I was like, man, this is so unprofessional. What do you mean you called me in here because you didn't? Okay.
2 questions, young child. First of all, do you like me? And if so, do you wish to die? Well, if not, do you wish to die? I should have said. Well, that explains a lot about why you didn't want that counselor.
No.
Yeah. I didn't even have that reason at first. Before, it was just because I heard a cautionary tale or two. And then I became the cautionary tale.
Hmm. What? Okay. I guess it was also from the perspective of a secondary school student, potentially. All right. Oh, whoops. Wrong thing. Okie dokie. I forgot what was next now in the list. Oh, right. Moving on from one form of education to another, which will make sense in a moment. And depending on
I'm assuming
what I've only watched this one and the another one of these that I only watched in the season 1, in the actual BYUTV episode. So this will be the second time that I've checked out this particular video.
Adam, can I borrow your phone to check my email?
What's wrong with yours?
And it will be the second time in a moment once it actually loads. This is good. Okay.
Honestly,
right,
I see
and
this
try
lamp,
again.
the flat backdrop, and then like this chair, and I think of Blue's Clues.
Hmm. I mean, yeah,
Right,
that does make sense. Apart from, I guess, the multiple live action characters.
Yeah,
In one
usually there's
go,
only
that
like
is to say.
yeah, I was gonna say usually there's only like one on screen at a time. The others are usually like animated or well, actually, I guess there was like that one like weird fucking Blue's Clues show that I never actually got to see, but I saw like images of where it was like following Blue and it was all live action. And so they were in these like big like giant costumes. Which kind of implied that Blue was fucking massive.
Well, apparently
Especially because they didn't
Google, so
well not just because the thing is if you actually look at the images, you have Blue, but then if you look at him next to the aspects of the house, he's like the size of the house. And it's like, when did Blue go from puppy size to pillar size?
I think Blue wasn't Blue a girl?
Yes. I always I forget this. It's because whenever I was younger, I thought that she was
I don't
a
know,
guy
whenever she met Clifford.
Yeah.
Whenever,
well, it's because whenever I was younger, I thought that she was a guy
because Blue is
he had,
associated
like,
with
the
boys.
classic,
That
like
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. And then I found out years later,
Blue,
I was like,
yes.
oh, cool.
Blue
Blue's
versus
Clues
pink,
was just
essentially.
demolishing. It, well, that's the thing. They have like a pink character too, who I think is male, right?
I was gonna say, do you have a character named Pink?
Pink dog, blue blues.
Yeah. I mean, the real demolishing of gender
No,
stereotypes.
she's on. No,
was-
magenta. Magenta. And
Yeah.
she's
Oh,
also
I
a
remember
girl.
magenta. I remember magenta. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah. But I think that's why. That's why I
Okay,
learned.
so blue
the
and
word
magenta are both women.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I saw
And-
that
and-
like a while back, and I was like, oh, I guess I just wasn't. I didn't realize they were just back here demolishing like gender stereotypes, like all like back.
Yeah.
All right, sure.
And no bow in sight. I just checked the character design. There's no bow, so that's how you really know is a demolishing gender stereotypes right there. But also nowadays, you know, you fast forward, you fast forward, you know, 15 odd years later or something, and then you know, Bluey comes out, and the same debate happens, except with more internet discourse. You know, more people discovering that Bluey is actually female.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, how do we get here? I mean, you'd have two nickels, right? It's a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Check my email. What is this, 2011? Now, I need to use yours because mine died, which
It was 2012. That was the joke.
brings me to my next question. Can I borrow your phone charger?
What happened to your phone?
It died.
How?
I'd rather not get into it.
Okay, fine. But I am expecting a very important phone call. So if it rings, get me immediately, and do not emphasis again.
Instant
answer
moment.
it.
Sounds like somebody's expecting a call from someone else.
Yeah.
Who is female is what I...
Just don't answer it.
All right. Speak of the she-devil.
And of course, the call happens immediately. We're going to get through it. There's so much time in this sketch.
Don't answer it.
Oh, I, emphasis, won't. Oh, hello, this is Argyle Machalik.
Yes, I'm sorry. I think I may have dialed the wrong number.
Yeah, see, this came out the same year as Honey Musical Batman, so of course it's a stereotype in the mix of impressions.
There's not an Adam there by any chance. I'm calling about his application.
Hey man, putting in more effort than
Application
Alfred.
to what now?
That's honestly true. Hello there. This is Argyle McCulloch, and I am Scottish. I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's right. I'm Scottish. Why is that phone so tiny? Oh, you sweet spring, summer, and autumn child.
Harvard Law School.
Oh, sweet mercy. Oh.
Like he kept the accent during the interjection, but also
Look, man, once you have the
this is
accent,
made-
it's really hard to switch back and forth on a whim.
Yeah.
So you may as well
What
just keep
surprised
it
me the
going
most about this?
until you know it's done.
Yeah, well, there's unless you like really practice with the accent, but I don't think he had. I think this was the first one. Like this character, you don't think he had.
To be fair, he pulled it out of his bag of tricks really quick.
Yeah, maybe he has pretended to be Argyle McCulloch a bunch of times. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the strange thing about this is that obviously, you know, BYUTV, BYU stands for Brigham Young University. That's where I'm pretty sure they all met and they started, you know, filming these at Brigham Young University, which I'm pretty sure. I think they're still. So they're essentially a cross-program program. BYU has a good law program or not, so maybe that was their leeway.
Oh, you're looking for Adam, are you? Well, he's predisposed helping old people.
Yes, hello. I'm from the
I have to make him
from the class that really discusses the ins and outs of fraud.
Black mark on his record.
His references, anyway.
Oh, references,
Hold on, I need to.
you say? Well, oh, I just saw.
I was like, okay, I'm back. I was gonna say I couldn't hear anything still, and I didn't realize that BB had muted herself again. So, yeah, I'm the one who's lagging and freezing, incidentally. So I was closing stuff down. I thought the BB was still talking, which is why I wasn't saying anything. But then I realized, oh wait, no, she's just muted. So I think we're back in business right now, but I also could be wrong. And she's gone. Okay, so I guess we're both having network issues at the exact same time as each other. And unlike what Steven said earlier in the doorstep sketch, it was in fact the exact same time. Okay, let's see if now it works. I've closed down some stuff which, you know, if it's network itself will not affect stuff because it's about processing, but we're gonna try here. We're gonna try.
Sister?
His sister. Oh, here she is. Here you go. Just say something good about him.
I mean, you could have just said that his sister wasn't there, but yeah, okay. And now, honestly, we get to see the person who is most known for impressions in Studio C, Jason. And I'm really regretting that BB is not here right now. I just closed Discord as well, so I don't know what's going on. Oh no, she's back. Okay.
I've complained so much about this on the Alan Wake streams, but in case you guys aren't in the loop, which most of you aren't, our college internet has been fucking awful for the last like few weeks, man. This next semester started and it's awful. I don't know who, like, did they get a new provider or something? I don't know, but someone's slacking.
Yeah, I also had network issues at the exact same time, but, you know, since you're talking about college internet, it would be really ironic if you actually attended BYU. It's like, this is how I find out. It's like, they don't want us watching that thing of their own content, yeah. Like, a Bonjinger's Wi-Fi died at the same time once. Yeah, I guess it just spreads.
No, I mean, there was one day where we had to stop our Alan Wake stream prematurely. I didn't even get to do an outro because the internet crashed at the tail end of it.
Hmm.
We were in the middle of like a fight, and then the internet just died, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's not as bad, but still not ideal. Okay, here's what you missed. The lady calling is checking a few of Adam's references, including his sister, and now you know, Matt/Argyle Michalik has handed over the phone to the person who is actually the most known, even to this day, for doing impressions on Studio C. That is Jason.
Hello? This is Adam's sister? Why is she British? Why are you gonna talk in an accent?
Fair?
Hello. I'm sorry. Adam's application mentioned he had 3 sisters. Ashley, Jenny, and Hannah. Which one am I speaking to?
The second one that you said?
Jenny.
Well, hi, Jenny. What can you tell me about your brother?
Oh, well, my brother is very smart.
I've never heard of a university calling, like, you know, someone's siblings for accurate referencing, but then again, I guess if Adam listed them as references, then they would want to check up.
He's a smart
I love how old they that Ginny sounds.
Well, they never specified, you know, what age range the sisters were, so you never know.
I'm just saying, compared to the young guy like him, you know, I mean, I've heard of the youngest child, but, you know, this is a couple generations out, it sounds like.
Yeah. That's it kind of reminds me of how how my grandfather was the youngest of his siblings by a lot. He had 4 sisters who were all significantly older, to the point where actually one of his sisters had a daughter who was like closer in age to him than he was to the sister. Which,
my siblings aren't that old. They're a few years older than me, but I mean, they're both millennials, so it's not.
Yeah, I know that at least one of your sisters has a kid. That I've heard about.
Yeah,
But
both,
not
both
close
of,
to you
both
in
of my
age.
main, both of my siblings have children. Yeah. My sister, she actually has a few at this point, but no, we whenever I was born though, they had been either around college or maybe in high school, and we had actually lived with each other for a little bit, but I don't remember it. The only reason I know it is because there's pictures on like my bedroom wall of that time. But yeah, that was super young. But yeah, we aren't that far apart. We're still at we're still at a close enough point where there was kind of an intersection.
Okay. Yeah, there's actually a movie. I don't know the name of this movie, but it starts off with a father and son. The son is all grown up, and both of their wives go into labor at the same time, so they both like have a kid at the same time as each other. It's like, oh, this was yours, that was mine, that was yours. And then like after that, like the other like like a build up like the whole like several whole scenes to do with that. So you think the movie's going to be about that? It cuts to like 10 odd years later. And it's all about like these two rival like kids soccer teams. And that's the main plot of the movie, is that they know that the son becomes is a coach just like the father. They had some sort of falling out earlier. He's coaching a new team that's like on the rise, trying to make them like the best they possibly can, and then eventually like they to the point where like in the final match, which is against the father's team, because of course it is, the father's second son like actually comes up and he just like it goes like to again like the son like the grandson is like, yes, you're not gonna get past your uncle something something. Your father told you how to do this. He has like some sort of like soccer technique. It's like, oh yeah, that was a thing in this movie, right? Why would we focus on that? It literally never came back until the final scene where it's like, oh yeah, their uncle and nephew. What? Huh? Why was that a thing? And I don't know what the movie was called either, because it was like one we watched on like a random coach on a school trip or something. I didn't see the title of the movie or anything. So I just don't know what to look up there. What to look up? Movie about father and son who have kids at the same time, and it's also about soccer.
I'm sure that won't give you too many results. I'm sure you'll find it real quick.
I need at least like 2 AI engines in order to make that search work.
No, that reminds me, it's a very convoluted story, so I'm just gonna get to the funny bit. My biological father, who I haven't seen in many years, but him and his brother were not raised by the same family. And so at one point, whenever I was born, my father's parents asked him, "Oh, did you name him after your brother?" Because I had the same name as his brother. To which he responds, of course, "What brother?"
Okay,
so that's how we found out about that one.
Right. Okay. Because like what we're missing there, of course, is the fact that they're raised by different families that weren't aware of each other. There we go. Okay.
Correct. Yes. Well, no, the parents were aware of it, but they never. Yeah, they never actually told my father or anything. He was kind of.
I never realized. Oh yeah, kids
of his family.
Kids forget things that happen at early ages.
No, like my biological father. No, I mean, my biological father isn't a good man, but he wasn't born that way. Like, he didn't have a great childhood.
That wasn't what I was getting at.
No, what I'm saying though is the parents weren't. They probably just didn't give a shit.
Oh, okay. All right. I suppose.
He gives to all the people that he sees, and he is attractive.
I think that was meant to be like a big heart or something, but yeah, who knows?
He is attractive to those who are not related to him.
Thank you for
Yeah,
clarifying,
well,
Penny.
we know he's not in Alabama, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Helpful.
Is there
Or
anyone else
Greece.
that you would like to talk to?
Well, the next one is a Father Flaherty, but I'm sure he isn't around.
He is around.
Yeah, see, there we go. You can say the people aren't around.
Around, actually. I will get him for you. Father Flaherty.
Okay, you can stop talking like her. Wait, Father?
Yeah.
What religion is Adam?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter right now
That's
for
so-
designing the voice.
Yes, hello. This is Father Flaherty, Adam's ecclesiastical.
Well, I think the idea here is that it doesn't work either way. But I think the logic behind that question was that, oh, okay, so he's a religious official, but what is his religion? So I think the idea was that whatever like root region that religion comes from would then be the accent. The problem with that though is that the terminology father in that context is not
Applies to
universal
Finland.
across all religions.
But,
That's kind of more, that's not really. So, like, depending on the religion, the father thing would be completely irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, Brigham Young University is based in Utah, so you know, most likely Mormonism would be the answer here in this situation. But we'll see.
Sure.
Now I'm just gonna like look around the house to see if there's any clues.
Oh my goodness. I'm surprised you're there, Father.
Across anywhere.
Application said you live in Oklahoma.
Yes, Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plains.
Even I've heard that song.
I'm just in town on religious business.
Well, Adam's.
We know they're not based in Oklahoma in this case for this sketch. That's, you know, 1 down, 49 potential states to go.
You've known him since he was a boy.
To be fair, that bullshit excuse accidentally saved him because now because oh you're not in Oklahoma. That's right. I'm off doing religious business.
Yeah?
Stumbled into safety.
Mm-hmm. Tried to look at the movie up and I got 2 IMDb pages for 2 different movies. One from 2005, one from 2012. Oh no! Did they reboot it?
Jacob, what camera quality was it? 2005 era camera or 2012 era camera?
Well, considering that I watched it while I was in Spain and I left Spain in 2012, I'm going to guess it was the 2005 one.
Well, you can usually judge like an era of film based on the quality of camera.
No, I understand that, but I haven't
usually-
seen that movie since the first time I watched it, so I don't remember the camera quality really well.
I would say the only exception I can think of is Markiplier's Iron Lung adaptation, where he's talked a little bit about how he got really into lenses for this, and he got like one really ancient lens to kind of like give to the atmosphere, and it's not a lens that anyone uses anymore.
I think there are probably several exceptions to this because it's a thing that is done often for stylistic purposes.
Remember, even as a lad, he was a boy. Oh.
I feel like I don't ever hear about it, but alright.
A boy of strong moral
WandaVision, potentially.
fibers and virtues. He used to read often from our faith's religious texts.
Maybe, I guess that can make sense.
Well, it's very insightful. Thank you, Father.
Please, there's no need to be so formal. You may call me. Actually, we better
Flaherty?
stick with Father.
Yes, thank you. And by any chances, is there a Tristan Brown there?
Oh, yes, Tristan. Yes, here you go. Tristan Brown.
Tristan, is that a man or a woman?
Oh, I don't
Whoop.
know. I'll check Facebook. Try and sound as androgynous.
Just go right there in the middle, non-binary.
Yeah.
Or I guess, but that would be by gender in the middle.
Is this Tristan?
Oh, yeah. That's the middle, apparently.
Well, it says here that you were Adam's economics professor.
It also says you suffered from a terrible accident, which permanently scarred your larynx.
How was he in class?
Bam! Tristan Brown.
I still can't tell.
My gender is.
Yes, this is Dr. Brown. Adam was a fine student. In fact, there was 10 occasions where he single-handedly saved the life of every one of our students.
Hey, these buffoons may be buffoons, but, at the very least, they aren't actively sabotaging the guy.
The 2005
During this entire process, they're at least saying good things that can only help his chances of getting into the school.
Yeah, because like this wouldn't have worked as a joke. I don't think if they were just pranking him. Like it had to come from like the sheer panic of realizing that realizing that it was that important call, and also from Adam like not actually mentioning it. Okay, I'm looking up this, by the way. Yeah, it does look like kicking and screaming is the answer to the question. Yeah, a young man has always been haunted by his father's competitive nature, coaches his son's soccer team. Yes, that is it. Yes, and also they don't have mentioned like the uncle, but that was a thing. Apparently, there was also a 1995 film with the same title, but with a different premise. So that's not relevant at all. So yeah,
what a rabbit hole, man. We need to go through the entire. We need to do like the '90s version, and then we got to do the 2005, and then the 2012 movie, and
Yeah. What was that? The question now is like, I want to know is like, what was the title in Spanish? Because it definitely had a different name.
Oh, I just realized. Wait a second. 90s, 2000s, 2010s. It's one for each era.
Yeah, I suppose, except for again the first one, the 90s one has nothing to do with anything.
The 2012 movie also has nothing to do with anything. Why not?
Apparently, it's available on Netflix, so I can watch it again. But that's not really.
Guys, we're gonna stop the Studio C reaction. It's now Texans react to kicking and screaming.
But yeah, it does. Okay, I want to find the Spanish title so I can remember. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, now I remember it. Okay, un entrenador genial, which translates to a great coach. So, okay, there we go. Yeah, nothing to do with the title. But yeah, I do remember that one big, yeah. It was like, I mean, very clear you could tell it was not a great coach at the start from the poster alone. Also, apparently starring Will Ferrell. Did not remember he was the starring role. That's how much I remember about this movie, by the way. I remember the uncle and nephew thing and the basic plot, but not any of the actors in it.
I would recommend him
or the camera quality.
highly.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Oh, in your face, you weird-looking man.
Well, please, thank everyone at the party for their time, and between the two of us, I feel confident that based on all I've heard today, Adam will be receiving an acceptance letter very soon.
Oh, actually, Adam just drove in the room. Why don't you talk to him?
No, wait, don't do this. He's gonna screw up his own chances. Don't do this. He doesn't know the story yet.
Hello?
Hi, is this Adam Jones?
No, this is Adam Berg.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I must have the wrong number. What are the odds that you would be at Adam Jones's party? Oh, well, while I have you on the phone, Adam, I may as well inform you that we literally just filled our last spot. We'll put you on the list, though. Have a good day, Adam.
He's speechless.
He certainly is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure his name is actually Adam Berg, like the actor. I've only watched that sketch once, because for the actual season one, because like at one point I thought, hey, I'm going to do a full Studio C watch, and then I got to like episode 5 and then forgot to continue. But this one I've seen multiple times. And I think now, to wrap up this video, you are going to understand the title of this live stream.
Okay.
Hey, boss, here are those files you wanted on the new guys we hired, Jason and Steven.
Oh, thank you.
This reminds me of our
Great.
of a place down in our college campus where it's this big place that has like a bunch of tables and stuff, but then there's also like a game area in the same building where it's like pool tables and shit. There's like a little like coffee machine on the side.
Do you also have a fresh candy and snacks dispenser that looks like it was built at the same time as the building itself?
So it's not a dispenser, but we actually do have a bunch of like snacks and foods and a couple like hygiene supplies that gets delivered there. Actually, yeah, it's on the counter. It's specifically for like, because you have a bunch of people maybe at the college that are there on like tuition or don't actually have a lot of money on themselves, and so it's kind of designed to help get people by a little more.
All right then.
So yeah.
Meanwhile, this one just was like, get your fresh candy and snacks, the newfangled inventions. Also, like in the top left corner,
a couple like dessert things, and then a couple like fruit and all that.
Yeah, just at the top left corner. Also, just the paste paper that just says inspiration, not an actual inspirational phrase, just the word inspiration, and that's it.
Well, Steven is from Texas.
You chose a bad time to meet yourself there, BB.
And you just know he's gonna come in here with his giant Texas flag and tell useless state facts and talk about the food and Rudy's steak sauce.
No mention of a hat, by the way, but there you go.
Okay, well, maybe he won't be so bad.
If he doesn't say everything is bigger in
Sauce
Texas
is pretty good though.
first
Dude, barbecue sauce? Oh my god, barbecue sauce. And also, I don't know if you guys have had Irish stew, okay? But Irish stew, the way that this is made for the broth, it's not its own broth. It's Guinness mixed with the stuff inside of the stew itself. So like all the like potatoes and vegetables.
Ah, yes,
and
a proper Texan dish, Irish stew.
Well, no, I'm just sorry. They mentioned steak sauce, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And I was like, oh my god, barbecue sauce. And I was like, here's one sauce-esque thing that's like just actually so good, and you won't ever think of it. It's this fucking Irish stew sauce, and it's this Guinness mixed with all this stuff inside of it and cooked all together. Mwah. Mamma mia, dare I say?
Mamma mia, as the Texans say.
Mamma mia, as the Texans eating Irish stew would say.
Okay.
Doesn't say everything is bigger in Texas within the first 10 seconds he walks in here. I will give you $20.
I would love to point out that we have been streaming for 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 42 seconds and counting, and neither one of us have said that phrase yet.
Okay.
Oh, hey, you're not wearing a state flag as a cape. You must.
It's not really something that a lot of us are consciously thinking about. But if you have visitors, oftentimes they'll be like, man, you guys have so much stuff in excess. And at that point, that's whenever it'll suddenly recall to us, oh yeah, that's right. We just have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's actually the
It's
same
just
thing that happened
huge.
that's like the same thing that happened when my family came to visit us when we still lived in the US. But we not when we were in Texas, but we'd long gone by that point. We were in North Carolina by this stage. But even regardless of that, still food portions specifically always astounded the very British relatives that I have. My aunt actually famously a few examples where she was advised the first time she went to the US, I think probably before I was born potentially, but the first time she went to the US, she was advised by my mum not to order like large ice cream specifically in this case, because like when they say large, they mean large. And the thing is that my aunt is a small fellow, as in like, to the point where I actually outgrew her by the age of 10. So, but then she just goes up and is like, what do we want? Large. So basically, it was like half the size of her potentially, and she was like, "I told you to order large." She said, "I know." And somehow, she survived. So I guess there you go.
No, I mean, yeah, it's the thing where a lot of us are able to live by it just because it's how we've, I guess, evolved in a sense, though not evolved in a way that it's still considered healthy, like spice became. Because remember, spice is not a thing we should have ever had, but we just kept doing it, and now it's just, honestly, it even has like health benefits now. So, but
If there was one thing, if there
but
was,
here
if
in
there
the
was anything that I
States,
thought you would
it's
mention in terms of like large portions, spice was not on the list of things I thought you were going to bring up.
no, well, it's because I'm trying to draw a parallel here to like the idea of like how we kind of evolved to a point where it's like, we can survive off of it. Although the difference is that spice has health benefits now. We haven't gotten to that point, but here in the States, we still are like able to have these insanely large portions of everything and not really bat too much of an eye. And the problem with it though is that it's survivable, but it's not really like there's statistics at this point showing mounting evidence that it's like, this is maybe a bad idea. But it's funny, I
could have told you that.
because I mean it's somewhat grim to think about seeing like the mortality rate and all that attached to it. But I think it's funny because if you see Dr. Mike, he has this little podcast he does where he has like guests on occasion. Well, he did an episode with someone, and I don't remember who it was, but he goes, "Well, it's funny because back in the day, you would have like if you were fat, you would be known as like wealthy, you were high status and king." And he goes, "Man, if one of them came down here, he would think that everyone walking around in Walmart was royalty, filthy rich."
Yeah.
Which I don't know. There is something fairly comedic about that.
I suppose. I mean, I've heard that. I've heard that like multiple times. So that's why I'm not batting an eye at it. But yeah, like honestly, in general, yes.
Well, no, I mean, I mean, it is a thing, but I've never really drawn the comparison between that status to, oh yeah, if they came to us now, they would have some preconceived notions about our status of living.
I mean, yes. I would argue there's a lot of people living in the world today that if they saw, if they came to, those areas of the US, they would think everyone was wealthy because compared to them, they are. So yeah, again, it makes perfect sense. I've seen that guy in the blue shirt looks like a character out of The Office. There are 3 characters with blue shirts on the screen as we speak. So please kindly specify.
No, I'm Steven. I just moved
The guy down here on the bottom right looks like the guy from Good Will Hunting. If that's a bit more exact.
All right. Well, I mean, you said bottom right, so it's more exact than Ghost Kitty, but yeah.
And everything is bigger.
Here it comes.
In this break room than my last one. Wow. It's a microwave.
Thank you.
Oh, that was that 10 seconds? I wasn't counting.
Oh, I left my drink on my desk. It was nice meeting y'all.
Did you hear how he said y'all? How obnoxious was that?
You're reaching.
I know.
I didn't even notice
It's
it.
actually not that bad. And you know the other guy.
But also, I live in Texas.
Yeah.
From
Rhode
It's funny, I never say y'all in my day-to-day life, but whenever I go to work, I say y'all so often, and I don't even say it with the accent. I say it with just how I normally speak, but y'all, and it's like, I don't want to say that outside of here. I don't know why I say it here.
Dan Povenmire had the opposite thing happen in one YouTube short, which I assume is also a TikTok. Yeah, he actually talked about how he lost his y'all at university because he liked the fact that y'all was like all encompassing compared to the you guys, which I mean guys has taken on like as an umbrella term in general. Kind of similar, kind of like the opposite part of the word man has gone over the years, but whatever. Evolution of language. But yeah, like he was trying to talk to people about that. It's like, yeah, I say y'all. Have you guys never heard me? And there's like, have you guys never heard that? And then that was where he realized, oh no, I've lost my y'all after being away because a lot of people commute for university, unless you're in the US, in which case you kind of stay in the state you are usually.
Man is such a fun word because it started out as like gender neutral and then it became specifically masculine. But
That was
then
what I was
now it's
referencing
kind
with
of
the
like,
opposite.
yeah, but now you have a split where you have it as like slang and it's everyone again. And then you have like the
I was like dude
formal
as well,
like
yeah.
man. Yeah, which I think is funny how it's kind of like circled back a little bit now.
Yeah, it's also very interesting how like the word actress is also fading out. A lot of actresses prefer to be referred to as actors. It's like, I mean, yeah, okay, fair enough that
Yeah.
they want to like have those gender inclusive names, and but then you flip that with like the Spanish language. A lot of people's like major complaints with Spanish and with French and a lot of those like languages from that region of the world. I say that region like I'm not in the region currently, like this region of the world. They point out how like most of the if not all the gender neutral terms are also the masculine ones, as if like that's to say that's like a sign of male dominance. You could interpret it that way, and in fact that's why there's a push now that non-binary terms are kicking in to actually have like a different like ending of words as well on top of because like you have masculine and feminine endings for certain words over here. So, but then again, yeah, it's another thing was like, okay, well, I mean, you could interpret it as a sign of male dominance, or you could interpret it as a sign of the removal of dominance by making those terms specifically more inclusive, where the female terms are exclusive to the female gender. I don't know which one is right,
Yeah,
but
I
you
think
interpret
the
them either way.
Yeah, I think the idea behind the actress thing is kind of like twofold. One is the idea of like gender queerness, where you do have like people that are not necessarily on like the complete like opposite ends of the spectrum and yada yada. So it's kind of just like inconvenient to start making like acts it's like, okay, but how do we make words that actually encompass all these different facets of community that doesn't sound weird? But there's also the second aspect, which is the idea of like growing equality. And obviously it's an ebb and flow, but relatively growing equality for women, right? And so it is kind of this idea of, I think maybe it's just not wanting to be separated from the masculinity. But there's also, I think, this like subconscious approach that's like, okay, it's not so much that they want to be grouped up with them, but more so that there shouldn't be a group at all. It just simply is, right? Like it's just simply a term. And so the idea of masculinity and femininity is maybe something that people are starting to become less inclined to even follow in the first place.
Yeah, like essentially that is what I was saying earlier. It's just that when it comes to like the linguistic side specifically, that's what I was getting at was not necessarily like the motivation behind the change, but I mean, or I guess like the conflicting two-side motivations of like not just like that specific example is what so yeah, like you said, they want the inclusivity, but the way that they approached it specifically, could be interpreted either way.
No, sure.
That's what I was getting at.
What I'm saying though is right. What I'm
I know
saying
what
though is
you're
I think
saying.
I think it's a interesting idea that we remove the idea of like the Spanish O and A entirely, right? That the idea of that O is just there as the word and not necessarily masculinity. It's just the word, right? Which I think is kind of the idea.
Yeah, except what I just said was that's not what's happening right now. That's what happened in the past, and that's what people complain about, especially foreigners learning the language for the first time. What's happening in Spain now is they're actually making an E ending for non-binary terms. But arguably, you could say that already the effort of inclusivity has been done, but you could also interpret that exact same effort as a sign of male dominance. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I don't know the right answer.
I think
that's why I've split the two camps.
Yeah, my hope right now is that at the current state we are, we should strive for inclusivity. But once we have that, I think we need to actually strive for the negation of a need for that in the first place. The idea of inclusivity as simply as is, and not so much a grouping together, but just the group.
Yeah, in both instances, it is a strive for inclusivity. From both examples, you know, the extra e ending, or just, you know, the umbrella term referring to the masculine in these specific examples. They're both strives for inclusivity, but the methodology behind them is where it comes into question.
Sure,
yeah. Meant the light blue shirt with the grey text, the lady in pink. So Matt, basically. The message before we said.
Yeah, the guy we're seeing right now, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So again, Matt. Which I've only seen except for memes and clips. Are you fan of a fandom? Fans of The Office will come after me. I'm too young to die. I mean, I also have never seen
I haven't seen The Office either.
However, if you guys can remember Alex Opio from back in the day, on Discord, he used to be known as the official Jim Halpert, and so I've seen that profile picture multiple times to the point where, even though I have in fact seen his face, I picture Jim Halpert more often when I think of Alex Opio than I do of the actual Alex Opio.
No, yeah, well, because and we had the because you had like the group profile pic, so you had Shorty as Pam, if I recall.
Well, that's because they were dating at the time, and Shorty chose to be Pam to match that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the last time I saw Alex Opio, like physically, well, I guess physically, like over the internet, but I mean, like I saw his actual physical self. was actually during his WandaVision review, which I still to this day don't know why he asked me to join. I have yet to see WandaVision, and he did that review when WandaVision came out. It's like, why me? Like, sure, okay, I have gone on record to say that, you know, I based the Butterverse off the MCU, but I also specified I based it off the structure of the MCU, not the actual content therein. So I don't know why he thought I was a Marvel expert or something.
WandaVision was an interesting one. It was all right. It wasn't terrible. I see what they're going for, but I think they dropped.
Oh wow,
the ball
you're doing the agent. You're doing the agent right now. I mentioned a thing and you review said thing, even though that wasn't the point of me bringing it up.
No, if I were actually going to review it, I would go in much more detail.
I know, and I'm thanking you for not doing so. I'm just pointing out that's a similarity between you and Aiden. Now that Aiden's not here, you're filling that role. Yeah.
Oh, the other guy won't be in.
It's a canon event.
You want me to spell out the name? Mm-hmm.
Annoying because he's from.
That's Marvelous I get.
Ghost Kitty might not know who Alex was. Ghosty.
Well, no, she literally said, yeah. Well, no, Ghosty does know. Alex Opio was part of like Aiden's original group of friends. In fact, he was like the first.
No, right. What I'm saying is that Ghosty would probably know. I don't know about Ghost Kitty. Though.
Yes, and what I'm getting is that Ghosty was also part of that. You know, where she's actually collaborated with both of them before meeting us. So yes, I don't know why you brought that up specifically now, but yes, that is accurate. No one else watching this video is going to understand that in the future.
Because Ghost Kitty and Ghosty are they're pretty easily confused.
Yeah, but also you pointed that out you also pointed that out after Ghost Kitty had asked Alex who.
I know, yeah, that's why I was saying, yeah, I don't know that Ghost Kitty actually knows that person.
Well, we do know whether or not she knows. The answer was no. Okay. Anyway, back to this.
Because he's from
Rhode Island. Yeah! Woo!
Well, at least he doesn't have a flag.
You mean this flag?
What?
That's a clock. It looks like. Oh, there we go. I've never met a person from Rhode Island. I know there's not many people who are from Rhode Island, but I mean, I don't know if this is accurate or not.
I don't. No, I don't think so.
So how many Rhode Islanders we got in the building?
Well, see, guys, that's how you actually send your heart out to someone. Not raising your hand up a little bit higher than that.
Yeah, Elon Musk should have learned that recently.
Yeah.
What? Are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? Come on!
I've been to New York.
You've been to New York. And not Rhode
To anyone who is not US based or is not a US geography, New York is, you know, borders with Rhode Island.
Island. How is that even possible, man?
Well, New York is a lot bigger and more important than Rhode Island.
Yeah, well, New York
I wouldn't have phrased it like that, but sure.
may be the Big Apple, but Rhode Island is the apple seed.
That sounds like pretty smooth.
Because everything's smaller in Rhode Island, baby!
Yeah, this probably isn't accurate because I'm pretty sure there's flipping the Texas stereotype on its head, and the next line kind of cements that for me.
Seeds are poisonous.
You're poisonous with that.
Oh, actually, no, not next line. A bit line after that. So I just ruined the joke of throwing two up.
Here in Texas, if you go to Dallas, you'll see a big glass tower that has like a circle on it. I think that's. I vaguely remember that having like an Apple name.
Right. So what was I going to say about this? Oh yeah, I was going to say that they say apple seeds. Yeah, apple seeds are in fact poisonous. They do contain cyanide, but not in like any lethal capacity. I will say the only part that I don't eat of apples is specifically like the stalk on them. So yeah, you know, good luck anyone trying to you know, give me cyanide poisoning. I've built up immunity over the years.
That attitude, yep. Hey, dude, where you from? Where are you from?
Alaska.
425.8. That's how many times my state can fit into your state. Oh!
Again, I'm sure that there are some Texans out there who can figure out how many times any other state can fit into their state, and that's what they're flipping here.
Yeah, how does that make you feel?
It's big.
Yeah, bet it makes you feel huge, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm thirsty. Thank you. Is this filtered water? No. No.
Yeah, that's not the right color for
We don't have
coffee.
those fancy things like rivers or mountains or plants. We drink water
Sorry?
the way nature intended, with motor oil and acid rain. Fortunately, I brought both.
In one container mixed together?
Well, if it's only mixed together anyways.
Better, thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, Rhode Island sounds like a very interesting place. You'll have to tell us about it sometime.
Sounds like what you need is the Rhode Island state rep. Hit it!
I never noticed him just throwing the coat onto Matt.
You ready to learn about the greatest state of all the states in the United States? Yeah.
Like he points to the back of his hoodie like there's anything on there.
Well, it's coming at you.
I think it says something, but I don't know what it says.
The world's greatest capital is Providence.
It probably says Rhode Island. Also, I didn't know the capital was Providence until this video. I was obsessed with US geography for some time, like when I was like 5 or 6. And yeah, just never got around to Rhode Island, I guess.
Like most 5 or 6 year olds.
Hey, look, come on, like you haven't had like random obsessions and phases over the years.
No, but at least I'm autistic. What's your excuse?
I hadn't been exposed to the Madrid underground system yet.
Sure.
By the way, I forgot to point out that just pulled a microphone out of Stacy's like lunch bag. Stacy, by the way, is the guy on the right, like sitting down.
Okay, down, off the table.
Well, it's his. There you go.
Where you're from, okay? You are fired.
You know what? I don't need you.
You are fired for being annoying on your first day. That's gonna go well.
The 13 colonies will rise again.
I mean, okay, he stepped on a bunch of shit, hopped on top of a table, caused a bunch of disturbance. I mean, that's a decent reason to fire someone.
Stupid flag with you.
started throwing stuff
Did you
at
just throw
others.
that with your
Not that she has any room to talk now, but
Hold on a second. Yeah.
And take your stupid flag with you!
Did you just throw that with your left hand? Are you left-handed?
Yeah? Are you?
Before we get to this point, I will say that, using like your left or right hand for like throwing stuff or like random specific things does not necessarily mean anything. Because it's really the hand that is closest. But yeah.
dude,
Anyway.
I thought he was about to go into like the old Christian concept of like you can only use like one hand because the other one is sinful.
Southpaw, League of Lefties, rah, rah, rah! Yeah! Yeah!
I do like the fact that when she does like the L sign, it specifically like looks the opposite way in a camera. I actually do whenever I went through the left and right with the classes I teach, I actually told them about like the method that I know that Aiden uses this method where you like hold up both of your hands like this and you actually one makes an L shape to you as your left. Yeah, but I turn around to make sure they can see it properly and they don't think I'm crazy. Well, crazier. They already think I'm crazy. I think I'm crazier.
It was, man. I'll tell you what, man. They tried teaching me my lefts and rights for so many years, and I never could grasp it. It took one boring math class in 8th grade for me to just zone out and figure it out myself.
I mean, fair enough. See, this is one of the things that like it surprises me. Back to like the you're and your thing from before that I constantly make fun of gacha tubers for. Yeah, that's something that they taught me in elementary school. So to me, it was always an elementary thing to know. Pun intended. And that's why I'm always so shocked when people like even much older than that get it wrong. Because even the youngest gacha tubers are most likely older than I was when I learned that. So I'm like, what the heck, people? But then I saw like some online discourse about like left and right, and apparently that is something that not just Aiden still doing like this method, but all like again for context for about a bunch of people, I'm a language assistant in Spain, and therefore I'm teaching them left and right in English rather than like just knowing what they are in general. That's the difference. But yeah, But yeah, I've heard of people doing that method or people saying like, oh, it's not that intuitive, like in like just around like short discussions. Again, going back to Dan Povenmire. There was another short that I assume was a TikTok as well that he made where he talks about like how he recalls a specific event where I think it was being chased by a dog or something, and someone told him to like, go left, and there's only one path that went to the left and the right was like not there. So he always remembers that point and knows which side is left or right. And weird enough, knows izquierda and derecha in Spanish. And just knows that off the top of his head. So there was no consistency with that. So I don't know.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess the trauma of being chased down and having to make a choice in that moment will make you remember it.
Precisely, yeah. But don't check the overview to be sure, but I also do vaguely know who Alex Opio is because they never referenced Alex Opio in episode 7 of Fallen Angels. Alex Opio was in Fallen Angels. He was actually, I think, the first voice of Kurt. I don't remember if he had any other characters, but yeah, he's in all of Aiden's older shows, older than Fallen Angels, which by this point is also still pretty old, but
Hey, they'll clean this up, don't worry. So what do you think about scissors?
Don't get me started.
There are left-handed scissors. As a lefty myself, I have used them. Although more often than not, I actually just cut stuff with my right hand anyway. So again, didn't necessarily have to be consistent. I am inconsistently dexterous, I believe. Yeah. I actually
Jacob said, well, as a lefty, get over it. Use the right scissors.
There was actually one time when I was showing the class like the left-handed like this one. There's actually one British student that we have in the class, And she said to me that the way that she remembers is that, you know, the classic you write with your right hand, to which I said, well, I mean, that works for you, you know, whatever, lefties. I didn't do that, but I explained it more succinctly than that. But yeah, like this method is infallible. The write with your right hand, you know, is 90% infallible. I think is the or 85, one of the two.
I don't even
Oh,
remember. I don't remember the exact thought line that led to me teaching myself the rights and lefts while I was bored. Because it wasn't anything the teacher was saying. I couldn't care less what he was saying.
That's why you were
I
bored,
think
yeah.
it was because I think it was because there was a door to the left, and so I was thinking about leaving, maybe, and so I was like,
I
wait a
see.
second, left. Wait a second, this must be right. And then I did the hand thing, not with like the L's, but like pointing, like with like my hands like flat out straight. I'm like,
Yeah. Innovation tech or something was the reference. It was a Helen line. Okay, it was elaboration tech, and that was a reference because it was like a knockoff of Innovation Inc., which was a series that Alex pitched but never actually went through with making. That one made a lot more sense to pitch to me as well as Aiden and some other people. Alex would make like these full like presentations. He would do like a full length like actual, you know, pitch document as if you know, pitching to like a mainstream TV studio, which in some ways we appreciate. Other ways, you know, we're a lot more casual normally with our pitches to each other.
yeah, but it's
So
but
that
it's
was
a
the
good
reference.
habit to form.
I never said it wasn't. Yeah. So yeah, that was the in script reference, but yeah, Alex Opie was also in Fallen Angels. Okay, so that was Studio C Season 1, Episode 1, sort of. If you watch the BYUTV like actual video, there's like different editing. There's like bits in the middle where they're like, you know, doing the end like makeup or something, or like about to go onto the stage, or you know, there's different like theme song and end credits and blah blah blah. But the main content is here. So, first impressions of Studio C?
You know, not enough hats in the Texan one, but
True.
you know, it's pretty good, some of these, especially the one with the date, and you had like the parallel stories.
Oh yeah.
Good shit.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I've watched that one like many times. I found that like I like a lot of the lines that catch me like off guard in the way that like My Street does sometimes are the ones from sketches I haven't seen so often. So I guess a good frame reference to anyone watching if we do more of these, which I'm pretty sure I think we should do more of these. You know, especially because Aiden hasn't seen any yet. We actually
I'm gonna summon Aiden. You'll be here for the outro.
Yeah, if I don't like have any like crazy like bursts of laughter, it's probably because I haven't seen the sketch ad nauseum in the past. Because again, this is something that I watch, you know, casually when I'm just, you know, consuming YouTube like a normal person, not reviewing everything I see. So
what do you mean? You actually watch content?
I actually watch content, yeah.
Oh,
that's how I found Starkid. Yeah. I'm just
then that doesn't count though, because you then went back to review it.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like a lot of reviewers or like reactors nowadays, part of the appeal behind them is the fact that they haven't seen certain things that have that like, you know, had like a huge fandom back in the day or still do, and they're going back to the beginning. You know, like Dragon Ball Z Abridged, for example. I watched a bunch of Dragon Ball Z Abridged reactors. You know, go through that content until eventually forced out Ben to do it themselves and kind of do like the ultimate creator commentary. So it's like, okay, that's the pinnacle for me. But usually, but in general, usually, yeah, that's the idea. It was like someone who hasn't watched stuff, like the duck goes moo. His whole thing is he hasn't seen anything usually. So everything is the first time. And as a blind reactor, I like that. But that's why it's so good to go through Starkid with you two specifically. Because if it was just me the whole time, then it would be like, well, I mean, I've already seen everything. I already have my thoughts formed. What is there to say here? It's not the same. It can be done, but it's not the same. It's kind of like, if it's like My Street was like, I have a lot to say in general. Yeah, there's substance there. But there you go. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, so concludes the deep dive for right now. But what are your thoughts? Let us know by means of. Sorry, we should do the end of the 5-day weather forecast by Studio C next time. Again, that depends if we still go in order or not. Honestly, aside from the timelines thing, the reason why I went in order for this is because at some point Studio C, as I hinted earlier, has so much content that at some point we would just end up repeating sketches and not realizing if I didn't decide, okay, let's do them in the order that they presented them in a numbered system rather than going through that way. The other option, of course, would be to go through their various playlists as well, but even then, those are in season order usually. So yeah, that's this is the best system to get through all of them in some way, and I've listed the ones we didn't in the description anyway. So hopefully, when people want to check out our reaction to specific sketches, they will know where to look. That's my thought process, at least. We'll see if that works out, and we'll see what a potential title change might entail for all the boring YouTube stuff. But yeah, as for the content itself, let us know your thoughts, means of liking or disliking, and leaving your comments on details that we've missed out on, or things that you might agree or disagree, or maybe even just your favorite Studio C sketches and which ones you're looking forward to us getting to eventually, if Needy wants to continue, because otherwise this is boring. Go back to Starkid, which we will do next week. By the way, next week I'm pretty sure that we're returning to something that is a bit more familiar as a franchise to me. But that's next week's thing. But now
it's time for the next Harry Potter musical.
That was my hint. I wasn't going to say it out loud, but yes, that was it. Okay.
For the record, chat, I didn't release that. Doesn't count as a spoiler because that was just a lucky guess. I wasn't told shit.
No.
But
then again, yeah, I suppose the chat has also told us the order in the past, but yeah, whatever. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go and I don't know, add some tags to this or something at least, if not change the title. So yeah, we'll see you all soon enough in another Butter Bunch video. Doodle pip.
Bye.